Hello, my name is Evgeniy Fedorenko. I participated in Leader Project 2007. I was a third year student of National Mining University at the time. I was also working in the fashion company named Colette. They imported clothes from Europe, and I was occupying the position of manager of international affairs. Leader Project was a great experience for me because I learned how North Americans run their businesses, what are the business processes in North America are like, and I was trying to make a projection of the processes in the company and try to implement the same ideas in terms of participating in building corporate structure and try to arrange all the processes according to North American ideas. As I mentioned, I worked in a fashion company when I was in a Leader Project. Then I met a guy and a leader who was working in a private bank. That's the biggest bank in Ukraine according to assets and to amount of clients, the amount of deposits. And he suggested me to work with him for private bank in merger and acquisition. So I decided to move there. But after the crisis, I moved back to fashion, worked there at the higher position with better salary. So I was kind of working there for a little bit of time. Then I decided to move to other company because fashion is not my type of business. So I moved to asset management company, Altus Assets Activities, where I worked in the Department of Investment Consulting. So I left to run my business with my dad, and the idea of the business is distributing of high efficiency energy sources like light bulbs, lighting, and luminaires. Since my dad, he worked for General Electric company for several period of time, so he had all the connections and he knows what is the best for Ukrainian market. So we work with the top world brands in terms of lighting and luminaires, and the idea is to implement all those technologies in our market. The first thing is that I started working in merchant acquisition. I was trying to understand the logic of the whole process, and Leader really helped me in terms of understanding the strategy. So marketing and strategy were really important because we're doing a lot of deals and you have to understand the market, you have to do the market research, and then you know all the weaknesses and strengths of the market, and that was taught in the Leader project by the teachers. Now, when I went to asset management, I would like to underline that I used a lot of marketing skills that I earned during the Leader project. I was trying to also analyze the market to think how the client will react, and it was really important in terms of sales, how to talk to people, the way you behave, the way you present the idea that you're trying to sell. Right now, since it is our own business and since everything depends on us, I implement everything I learned in Leader because every single piece is very important, but I have to say that one of the most important things is cash flow, because the analysis of cash flow, because due to this instrument I can forecast, I can analyze the cash flow at the current period of time, and I can think about the future. Like, I could not say that I'm not using any marketing or strategy skills because they're all important. So basically, Leader was one of the greatest things for me to study aside of my own university course. Entrepreneurship is important because it depends on the tax paying system, because small entrepreneurship are paying more taxes than any other companies. But since the current tax system supports more, well, it gives more benefits to big businesses, it kind of makes the entrepreneurs to pay more taxes. So that means that entrepreneurs develop less and they have to pay more into the budget. So I think that lower taxes will let the small entrepreneurship develop more, and when it will develop, it will earn more. So, for example, I will receive more money, I will spend more money. That means that other entrepreneurs will also receive more profits. That means that the average income per person will rise, and that will also increase the standards of living in the country, which I think actually a big thing. Okay, so the idea of my business is that we import, as I already said, the products, the light bulbs from Philips or GE and other producers to Ukraine. They're expensive, but they are high energy efficient. They are healthy for you, so they don't have like any heavy metals inside them, and they also have a better light quality. But in Ukraine, the local producers of the lamp, they have very cheap lamps. They're not healthy for people, and they don't have the nice light quality. So it's very hard to convince the people to move from cheap but not healthy, not a good quality item to the product that I suggest to people. So we suggest to consumers high quality light bulbs which are very energy effective, and we have the consumer they use the local or low quality but cheap price light bulbs. So we did the calculations, and we can say that the expensive light bulb of World Tower brand will save more money in terms of long perspectives than the cheap light bulb in the same amount of time. This is why we try to convince as many consumers as possible to move to these new technologies. I think I have to talk about taxation again, because we're in the stage of reforms of the taxation system, and taxation tax law is kind of it is changing all the time, and you have to keep up with the changes. But the changes are so fast, so sometimes you are not on time with some documents or some forms, and you will be fined if you do not keep up with the taxation law. This is why we have to spend more time on accountancy rather than doing sales and marketing, which makes it hard because of the problems I already told you, that we have to spend much time on informational support of our business. Unlike me, a lot of entrepreneurs in Ukraine, they use credit lines, like they credit their businesses from the banks, and sometimes it's very hard to receive the credit from the bank because the banks do not trust small entrepreneurs due to a lot of risk in their businesses. And if the entrepreneurs receive the credit, the interest rate is very hard, and sometimes they're not able to pay for it, and they will be fined for it, and the situation continues from month to month and from year to year. And so we hope that eventually the interest rate will be lower, and the businesses will be easier to survive. I have to say that Ukrainian hryvnia is pegged to US dollar in terms of currency rate, and a lot of entrepreneurs, they buy the goods from outside of Ukraine, for example in Europe or in China, whatever, and the currency in those deals is American dollar. So, for example, when it was financial crisis in 2008, the value of hryvnia to dollar, the currency exchange rate, it was 5, and after crisis it dropped to 8.6. So hryvnia became much cheaper, and some entrepreneurs who bought their goods for 5 euros per dollar, they received a lot of losses due to the fact that the cost of goods, it increased a lot, and the selling price was at the same level, so they had to sell the goods, but they did not know how and why. That's why it was a huge issue for entrepreneurs during the crisis. You have to say that globalization, it's pretty visible around the world, and also occurs in Ukraine, because a lot of big world companies, they enter Ukrainian market, and we used to have a lot of grocery stores like years ago, but right now they have these huge companies that enter the market, like Metro Cash and Carry. I don't remember whether it's German or Austrian company, but they have pretty reasonable price for the products. It's a little bit higher than Ukrainian products, but the price quality is much better there, so it is better to go there. They have some products are cheaper there, some products are cheaper in the grocery stores, but grocery stores could not survive in the market if they have such huge competitors. When I became an alumni of the program, I continued cooperating with Leader Project. I always came to see the new teachers who are arriving, and I see the amount of students who actually would like to participate. So the interest is continually growing. You have a lot of students involved, and the alumni of the project, they whether became successful entrepreneurs or the employees of big companies, and they're pretty successful there. And they're willing to cooperate with the leader even more in the future, and shares them any other bright ideas, maybe set up their own enterprises, and they require this knowledge from the teachers who arrive here.